Welcome to Cooking with Andrea. Thanks for coming in with me. Today we're going to make an Italian pasta and it's going to be delicioso. So I have barilla pasta bow ties here. I've got my water boiling. I've got some wine, some good tomatoes. I've got onion, garlic, and carrots, and some wonderful seasoning. I'm going to go ahead and get these all chopped up, and then I'm going to come back and then we'll start cooking. Oh, I also have some Italian sausage, and after I get these cut up, we'll throw the Italian sausage in and start cooking together. Welcome back. Okay, couple things I got done, and one of them is my whole tomato. My whole onion. I went ahead and pureed it because you guys know that I do not like the texture of an onion, so I puree my onion. I also took, that was one large white onion, I also took, it's almost equivalent to a cup of carrots, because I only had sliced carrots. So you want to use 3 carrots for this recipe. So this is what it looks like. I went ahead and put it in my food processor, and just got it all grinded up, so it's going to be perfect. Have my pan heating here, and I'm going to take about mild New York sausage. This is really good stuff. I love this. This is what I use when I make anything with sausage, because it has just some good Italian flavors and it really crumbles good. I have my pan on high right now because I like my sausage kind of really ground. If it's not ground to the way I like it, I will actually put it in my food processor. So what I learned is, as long as I'm going to stand here, I can have my pan a little bit hotter and I'll make it to crumble a little bit better. Because I like it all small. I like everything incorporated when I'm making a pasta sauce. And it's so funny, I won't ground any when I make like spaghettis. Only in pasta sauce do I like it that way. Okay, just cleaned out my food processor because we have some really wonderful tomatoes we're going to use. So I'm going to go ahead, give this, I'm going to have to stir it. I'm going to have to stir like I always say, because I don't want it to stick and burn, but I do want it to kind of stick a little bit because that's how I get the little pieces, because it has to be hot to get the little pieces. But I want all these bits, all these goodness on the bottom. This is going to flavor my pasta sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and move and put this other portion of my Italian sausage in my refrigerator, because I'm going to go ahead and I am going to vacuum seal that so I can use it for another meal. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to stir this, get it all nice and browned up, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out of the pan. So I used half that sausage. You can use a little bit less or a little bit more, but I kind of like a little bit more. I don't want that much meat. I can actually do pastas and spaghetti without meat. I actually like it that way. I love just the sauces I make. It's so funny, I always make my own pasta sauce, but for spaghetti, do you know I use a packet because I like the flavor, and I don't like my spaghetti sauce thick. I only like my pasta sauce thick. This sauce is actually a good one as well. When you have like fried raviolis or something, this one you can dip them in. It tastes delicious. Okay, so I'm just going to let this cook a little bit here. I'm going to go ahead and drop the tomatoes into the food processor. So I wanted to show you, this is what I buy. This is actually a fantastic can of tomatoes. Oh, it has such a good taste. And they are whole peeled, so then I'm going to have to chop them. Let me get everything. Boy, and I put the food processor over here because it is going to be noisy if I keep it where my mic is. You're going to hear everything. So let me go ahead and just make that a little bit more even. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put it on. And then we're gonna come over here and stand, and hopefully you can hear me. Oh, it's like, nope, not having none of this. It says you are gonna watch me. Okay, I want to get back to stirring my meat. Yeah, because you really want these little pieces in here. But like I said, if it's not the way I want it, I'll just put it in the food processor and grind it some more. Because I do like uniform bites, and so does my husband. But it's cooking, smells delicious. This Italian sausage is a go-to. It's worth it. This is my favorite one. I've tried a lot of them, but this is really my favorite. Okay, so we're going to go try that again. Okay, multitasking in the kitchen. This is actually a very easy recipe. Because if you weren't like me, you like your onions. Although, like I said, the carrot, I used the 2 carrots or 3 carrots for this recipe. 3 carrots for a little sweet, natural sweet, and also thickening. And I'm not going to drain my grease because you can use 2 to 3 teaspoons or tablespoons of olive oil. But I'm going to go ahead and reserve this grease I have actually, and this is what I'm going to use because fat is flavor, and it's going to be delicious. Oh, yes, and you know what? This is cooked perfect. You don't need it any more cooked than this. Because remember, when you put your sauce in, you're going to also go ahead and let it simmer for about 15 minutes. This is an easy recipe. Probably only take you about 30 minutes to do, you know, but with me talking and showing you, it's going to seem like it takes a lot longer. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bowl, and I'm going to put my meat in a bowl. And I have all these beautiful bits. I'm going to turn off my little new wave, because otherwise it's going to beep at me. And hopefully you can hear my voice good enough while I'm, you know, doing my food processor. But if not, I'll have all the directions on there, and I won't skip a beat. I'll make sure you guys hear it all. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat my pan back up. Start. And I've got some really cool veggies outside in my yard. In a little bit, we're going to go ahead and we're going to pick some fresh basil. I already picked fresh lettuce so that I could show you, and that's what we're going to have for dinner. So I don't have too much oil in here. I don't really have any here in my, so I'm going to add just about a half teaspoon because I don't want to burn my bits. And I'm going to add right now my onion and my carrot to the pot. Oh, this is gonna, oh gosh, it smells delicious already. You can smell the onion and you can smell the carrot, but you can really smell the onion. That's what I'm going for. Okay, and now what I'm doing is I'm taking all these bits and I'm gonna cook them just like this. Get them off. This is gonna be flavor. This is my flavor town. Oh, I think I just stole Guy Fieri's thing, Flavor Town. Better take that back real fast. Oh, but boy, we do need smell vision. Oh my goodness, this smells delicious. Okay, so I'm on high. And you know, this has all the liquid from the onion, which is just delicious. You know, I don't like the texture of the onion, but I do love the flavor of the onion. Okay, so this pasta sauce that I make is very garlic forward. There are 2.5 tablespoons. So I'm going to let this cook for a few minutes because I want to render and get the onion, whatever is not solidified or purified or whatever you want to call it, because you know I went ahead and mixed that really well. I'm just going to let it cook. Warm it up, get it cooked, and then what I'll do is drop the garlic in. So we've got our meat, we've got our noodles. My noodles took about 17 minutes to cook. I have our seasonings, and I'm going to go back to grinding or blending our tomato. Okay. Ah, this is perfect. Oops. Throwing stuff on my counter. Okay, let me get my onion and carrot. A stir. Ooh, you can see the little bits from the sausage that was in there. Okay, that's good. Now we're going to go ahead and put all this garlic in here. If you do not want this much garlic, I would say you would have to use, because I used 2 cans of tomato, you have to use at least 2 tablespoons. Otherwise, I don't think you'll have enough. So I would say I'm using 2.5. So, because we like garlic in our family, and it's good for you. So, but you have to like garlic. But let me tell you, how you like garlic more if you're really not into garlic is you have to chop the garlic very fine. You have to make it fine. Otherwise, it will kill your palate. You will not like it. First time you get one bite and it's not cooked real well, you're not going to like it, I guarantee you. So what you want to do is make sure that it's finely minced chopped. And then, you know what, it'll just give you a flavor. You won't be able to bite into it and it offend you. So let me go ahead and keep this going right here. We're good here. So seasonings, real easy. I have 2 teaspoons of oregano, that's oregano, and 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning. Really, really super easy. I'm going to go ahead and put this back on my oil. I have 1 cup of red wine right here. And as soon as this cooks, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put the red wine in, reduced by half. Then we're going to add our tomato and our fresh herbs and our other herbs. And then that's when we'll put our sauce, our meat back into our sauce too. So we just need a minute more of cooking, because I want to bloom the garlic. I want it to open, because I feel once I put it in with everything, it doesn't have a chance to just smell the way it smells. So this is why my sauce is going to be thick, because do you see this carrot and onion makes it a little bit thicker, but it's going to be delicious. And like I said, it has the meat juices in there, and it's going to be great. Pretty inexpensive. You need to buy the can of tomatoes when they're on sale, though, because they can go upwards to $5 a can. So you want to buy them when they're $2.90 a can, and then you want to put a few in your stock so that you always have them. Because if you wait to buy those things, then those things can become very expensive. You can use another tomato. I just want a, I don't know, cleaner tomato, fresher tomato. I like the way that one tastes versus some other ones, but you can use any tomato you want, because if you have your seasonings down, that's what's going to make it. Okay, so everything here is good to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get my wine put in, and I'm going to let it reduce. And then guess what we're going to do? We're going to go out and pick some fresh basil, and we'll be back in, and we'll get the sauce incorporated and let it simmer for about 15 minutes. We'll be back. Welcome back. We're in my garden here, and we're going to pick some of my fresh basil for my sauce. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Earlier I picked lettuce, and I want to make us a salad for dinner too, which I'm going to show you. And these are all from my garden. Okay, I'm going to get a couple more little ones. Okay, I've got some wonderful things here. I've got strawberries, I got watermelon, cantaloupes, tomatoes, peppers, bell peppers, radishes, onions, carrots, more tomatoes, celery stalks. I have zucchini, more carrots, and then I have a greenhouse right over there, and that's where all my lettuce is and my snap peas and things like that. So I'm really excited to be able to have my own garden. Take a look at my strawberries over here. They're beautiful. I'm going to walk you right over here, and I've already picked about 40, 50 of them, but I've got some beautiful ones just getting ready to mature. I have some mint here, some wild mint. I tell you, that mint gets everywhere and gets all over everything. But I want to thank you for sharing my garden with you, and we're going to go in and chop my fresh basil and put it in our pasta sauce today. Okay, welcome back. Thanks for going to my garden with me. Now, I went ahead. Our tomatoes are ready. Our red wine, onion, garlic, beautiful carrot reduction. It's reduced by half. So I'm going to go ahead and let all my beautiful sauce come in. This makes a lot of pasta sauce, and it's good, good, good. On days when I don't use meat in it, I reserve it and I make it my marinara sauce. I just take everything and make it my own. I'm kind of one of those, the taste have to be there for me. I have to like them, and I have to know my family's going to like it, because if not, they're going to look at me and go, oh my gosh, what are we having for dinner tonight? Not that. So I got to make sure that I know my flavors, my taste for my family. And that's what I encourage everybody to do. But this is actually very easy. This pasta sauce is a good sauce. So what we're going to do is we're going to add our seasoning. It's just oregano and Italian. And then I got a secret. You know how I love to buy cheeses. Parmesan. I went to Bodega Bay probably about 6 months ago, and I didn't realize they had a creamery and a farm there, a dairy farm. I was thinking, no, not there. Boy, lo and behold, did I stumble upon something wonderful in Bodega Bay. Okay, let me put this a little bit higher, and then we'll get our seasons. As soon as it heats, it'll incorporate all our seasonings. And then I'm going to drop in my little golden ticket here. So I found that place, and I tried the cheeses. The cheeses were magnificent. This is my rind from my cheese there, and it was a Parmesan cheese, and it is absolutely delicious. Most of the time, a lot of people will take and they won't use the rind because it's so hard. Guess what I'm going to do? Plop, plop, going right into the sauce, because guess what? That rind is edible. You can shave it down, and whatever is not edible, it will not melt. But guess what? You're going to get all this wonderful Parmesan cheese in your sauce cooking. And usually I let my pasta cook for a good 30 minutes. After I get everything incorporated and I know everything is up and I get it to a nice little rolling boil, then I drop the heat a little bit and I just let it simmer for 30-40 minutes most of the time. I make my pasta sauce about an hour before my husband comes home. So by the time he's ready to eat dinner, it's been just cooking for a good hour. It's developing flavors. So what I'm going to do is I am going to cut our fresh basil we just picked from the garden. While we let this warm up, I'm going to cut that. I'm just going to take off, just trim a little bit. I'm going to take the stems off too. And then I'm just going to give it a rough chop. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it up. See, that'll make it nice and easy so I don't cut my fingers too, because that's the only thing sometimes with fresh herbs. You can really cut your fingers. So I'm going to show you how I rolled it up. So I took the 6 leaves we cut and I rolled them nice, just like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right over here and I'm just going to cut it in ribbons. Yeah, just cut small, thin ribbons and then just cut it one more time so the ribbons are in half or in thirds, and then just drop it in there and let it cook in there, and that'll be delicious. Just remember, tuck your fingers. Knife should hit your knuckles before your fingers. Okay? Because I do not want you to cut yourself. I've done that a couple times. I'm not even going to say, oh, I don't do that anymore, because then that's when I'll have a cut finger. Okay? Let me grab. And then, after we do this, we're going to add our meat back into it so it simmers and just cooks. Oh my gosh. Smells really good. You can smell everything fresh and good. Okay, now we're going to add our meat. First I'm going to check the bottom of my bowl, make sure there's not a lot of oil. There's not. One thing good about this is it doesn't produce a lot, especially when you just use half. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to let this simmer on the stove top for about 30 minutes, just because I want all the flavors to incorporate here in this wonderful pasta sauce. And then because our bow ties are already cooked, it will take no time just to drop them in there and get them nice and warm. But this is a fabulous dinner. Like I said, buy the tomatoes when you see they're on sale, or buy a different brand, because everybody's taste buds are different. Look at I just want to pull this out. It's going to start melting, and it's going to be delicious. And we will pull this out when we go ahead and we get ready to pour the pasta in, because I do not want me to put it on a plate. Unless it's my plate, then I would chew on it. It'd be good, nice, soft, and melty. So what I'm going to do is watch this until it comes to a little bit more of a boil like this, and then I'm going to go ahead and put my top on, and then I'm just going to let it simmer for about 30 minutes. That's what I would do, because that's what I'd honestly do if I were at home. Bow tie pastas, I got a good price for them. I had the herbs in my garden, and the sausage was actually a good price. We got it on sale this week. It was probably about 82 cents cheaper than normally what we buy it for. But you can buy any sausage too. It doesn't matter. It's what you and your family like. So, okay, this is starting. We're going to go ahead and cover this and let it simmer for 30 minutes, and we'll be back. Welcome back. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. Everything is cooked beautifully. Sauce looks nice. There's enough liquid, but there's also that great Italian meat sauce. So I'm going to take and do a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, because I didn't really put any salt in. I'm going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of fresh black pepper. My husband grinds it for me, and we set them up here. I'm going to just stir it in, and then I'm just going to put the cap back on and heat for a second, because I went ahead and I had gone to my garden earlier and pulled some fresh lettuce, and I'm going to go ahead and make that right now for us here. I just wanted to show you. This is from our garden. We're growing our own lettuce, which is beautiful, and it's all just super delicious. I'm just going to take off a few, and what I do is I pull it as we need it, and it is wonderful tasting, very easy to do. But let me tell you, gardens aren't as easy. My poor husband spends a lot of time turning soil. We do the soil all year round. When we can't grow, because where we live, it's too cold. We cannot grow all year round. So what we do is we feed it with coffee grounds and greens and potato peels and things like that. And I have the little gardens outside, and then I have a beautiful greenhouse my husband built for me. So this is what we do here. We take it and just add a little bit for our dinner. It is so delicious. I can't believe how wonderful it tastes, how excited I am to be able to grow. And I was never a vegetable person, never. I already washed this too. All my veggies, when I bring them in the house, I wash them and get everything, make sure, because I try not to use any pesticides, and if I do, I try to, if I have to use a pesticide, I would use an organic, but I really don't use them. And then what I do is I take our radishes. We've grown a couple different kinds of radishes. And so we have radishes with our salad. We have these beautiful strawberries that I was showing you earlier. We're so blessed to have our garden. So that's all I do is take it like that. We're going to add a few more. And then we are good to go. I am going to pull my croutons. I make my own croutons because I never want my white bread to waste. So what I do is we put a little bit of crouton on them, and this is our beautiful salad. So I'm going to go ahead and move this because our pasta is done. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get our pasta dish put together. Super excited. This is a good dish. You guys will like this dish. This makes a lot of food too. You'll have extra. I was going to tell you, I always reserve about 2 cups of pasta water in case it wasn't thick enough or in case I had to thin it. But I didn't have to do anything. But this is my favorite recipe for a pasta dish. Now remember, it's not my spaghetti dish because my spaghetti I use actually a packet. That's what I prefer. And I like my spaghetti thinner than thicker. Pasta sauce I love thick because it's supposed to stick to the noodle and just be super delicious. Now raviolis, sometimes I go back and forth. Do I want it thick? Do I want it thin? Because raviolis is one of those things. I like when I fry the ravioli, I like the sauce to be thick because then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip. Okay, so guess what? Here's one of the, ow, that's a little hot. That's what you get when you pick it up with your fingers like a dingbat. I know better than that. I'm in the kitchen all the time. That's the cheese. So I'm going to leave this chunk of cheese in. If I were going to serve all of that, then I would take it out. But because, I'm going to vacuum seal this. And this will be a whole other dinner for me and my family. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and lay the pasta sauce right over. And it is going to be delicioso. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my Parmesan Reggiano cheese. And then I'm just going to shave. I use my, guess what? My sauce is so hot, it's melting my cheese. I'm going to have to let it cool just a second. But what I'm going to do is reserve. And reserve. Oh man, just made a mess in my pasta sauce. Well, that's okay. We can fix it. It'll be beautiful. So I'm going to have to wait for a minute to put the Parmesan sauce on because it's so hot. But I'm going to cheat right here. I know I want to try that portion, but look at it, just melts because I have it so fine. If I use a thicker grater, it wouldn't do that. But guess what? It won't hurt my feelings. You're going to love it. It's easy, nice and mellow. And there's some sauce down here, but you get all that goodness, meaty stuff right there. I want to just take the cheese off my fingers, but that wouldn't look too good. But if you like the content, if you would please like, subscribe, and share with others, I'd be grateful. Oh, I wanted to let you know, next week we're going to be traveling. So we'll probably put the video out Monday or late Sunday. And we're going to just try some different foods, pick up some good ingredients, and we want to show you though, but we want you to know that if we weren't there on Sunday or you didn't see the video on Sunday, be there Monday, and we'll share with you when we get back. Thank you.